All right, we're going to get started with drills. We're going to go over drills. One of the big things about drills is it's not really for your safety, although I do want you to stay safe. It's more to how to use the drill correctly, how to choose the right bit, how to take care of the drills. You need to know what the function of each drill is. So one of the things, the first one that we're going to go over is the impact drill. All right, this is an impact, some people call it an impact driver. If you look at it, it's short, kind of got a little stubby nose. It doesn't have the typical chuck that most of them have. In order to get the bit in the chuck, this one's really easy. These bits, the way that they're made, you look at it, it goes right in here. This bit that I got in here is a T20. I'm actually going to switch it out for a T25. Give me 1 second. This is T25. We'll talk about the bits in a second. Battery, 20 volt battery. They've all got indicator lights on the back. You can see that one's fully charged. All right, we'll put it in here. So our drill is ready to go. The main thing that this is used for is to put in screws. The reason for that is in the name impact driver. It hits and turns at the same time. So if you think about using a screwdriver, basically a drill, anytime you're putting in a screw, think about using a screwdriver, you have to put pressure in and turn at the same time, right? In order to actually seat the screwdriver into the head of the screw, you've got to push and turn at the same time. This does that for you. So if you take a screw, I got a 2.5 inch ceramic deck screw. If you look at it, we're going to run that in. And we talked about this a little bit with screw length, but I'm choosing that screw right there. It's going to go that far into the wood. All right, so we've got our screws here. To get my screw started, make sure my drill is in forward and reverse. Forward, if you're right-handed, your index finger, if it's pushed in on your index finger side, it's going forward. If it's pushed in on your thumb side, it's going in reverse. All right, to get my screw started, we're gonna sit it like this. Now, I use this left hand to stabilize the screw. I'm gonna put my hand, I'm gonna hold it on the unthreaded portion. If you hold the threaded portion, you're gonna end up with, cutting your hand or burning your hand because of the friction. Once you get your screw started, you don't have to pull the trigger down very far to get your screw started. I typically pull it about 1/4 of the way down, and that's about the speed that you need to be going whenever you're inserting the screw, whenever you're getting it started. Once I get the screw started, I can take my left hand off the screw, hold the wood in place. Let's say that I want to make these two flush here, flush on the sides here. Hold my piece of wood down. And you can kind of hear that sound that the drill makes running the screw in. So whenever I'm running the screw in, I got the drill head, the head of the screw, barely below the surface of the wood. You really don't want the screw too far, you don't want to sink the screw too far in there. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to run it out. And that's kind of one of the things I want to show you real quick. I get a lot of teenagers that want to run the screw too deep. Deeper is not better. I run my screw in. Let's say I run it in too deep. Now that's sunk probably a good 3/8 of an inch into, which is way too deep. Now, if I want to try to pull that out, that's what's going to happen. All right, my screw is going to end up just staying in my board because the unthreaded portion is in the board. The threaded portion was all in this board here. So in order to get that out, you can do one or two things. If you run it in too deep, this won't work. You can put the board on the wood there and put pressure down, try to run it out. If that doesn't work, typically what you have to do is take a hammer, hit that screw until the threads get into the wood, and then you can flip the board over and you can run the screw out. All right, so that is kind of stuck like that. I don't have my hammer, should have got a hammer before I started the video. But I don't want to waste your time going and getting a hammer. So if we look at, we've got our two pieces of wood, running a screw. Another thing about running a screw, speed is not key with running a screw in. It's pressure. So I get a lot of students that do this. Right? And I pull the trigger as fast as I want to, but if I'm not pushing down and spinning at the same time, it's not doing me any good. All right? You can get it started going relatively slow. All right? Once you get it in, now you can hear that sound that it makes, that sound. that is your impact driver pushing the bit into the head of the screw and turning at the same time. So this is primarily for inserting screws. Another thing when you're putting screws in, let's say that you get your screw started on a little bit of an angle. And I over-exaggerated this. But you want your drill at the same angle that the screw is going into the wood at. If your drill is at a different angle, let's say the screw is going this way like this, and I hold my drill like this, all I'm doing is stripping out the screw head or my bit. All right, so I want my drill, all right, and you can kind of feel the bit lock into the head, all right? I can tell when I'm like this that I can't feel my drill in the, and yet again, just sink the head of the screw barely under the wood, all right? You do not have to sink it all the way in. So impact driver, primary purpose is inserting screws. Some of the new impact drivers, this one's fairly new, but it doesn't have it. It's got 2 adjustments right here. It's got a 1 and a 2. Those are your speed adjustments. The next one we're going to look at, I call this a regular drill. All right. So every drill has, I would say, what is a primary function and a secondary function. This drill right here, the impact, they do make specialized bits that will fit in this collar. All right, that you can take it, that you can put in here and you can drill holes with. But primarily, you're going to be putting screws in with this. Secondary function, you can get the drill bits that will fit this. Oh, and I forgot to say this collar right here, the chuck. Oh, you good? Do you need me? No. Take this out, pull the collar, bit will come out. All right, you want to put it back in, just stick it in, pull the collar out. Yeah. There is your impact. On regular drill, you got a chuck. This one has a plastic chuck in it. All right, if you look at the plastic chuck, you'll be able to see these teeth. There are 3 teeth that come out and grab your bit. So those 3 teeth will grab your bit. This is primarily, in my opinion, used for drilling holes. Okay, if you look right here on that it looks like a little drill bit. You're going to be drilling holes. So got a 3/8 bit here. All right, we run the teeth all the way out. Stick our 3/8 bit in. All right, now that's wobbly. We've got to tighten our teeth up in our chuck. You can put this one forward, hold on to the chuck, and it'll tighten up. Once it grabs a hold of it, I take my hand, tighten up the chuck. I want to drill my hole. Typically when I drill a hole, I want to be in a faster setting. Depending on what I'm drilling in, if it's metal, sometimes I don't. There's a 1 is slow, 2, faster. All right, so we're 2, drill our hole. Now if you can see that this tiny little drill, this is a 12-volt drill instead of a 20-volt. I've got some 20s like this as well. But it has trouble drilling a hole with a 3/8 bit in it. It's really a pretty small drill, okay? So primarily for drilling holes. Now, it also has the secondary function of running in screws if you need to run in screws. So I'm going to find my 225, put my bit in, hold on to my chuck. It's in there straight, tighten it down. Let's say that you want to run screws in. These drills have torque settings. It's got 1 and all the way to 15. So you can do it anywhere from 1 to 15. That is for if you need to tighten something to a very specific tightness, or if you want to run a screw into a certain depth. So if you look at this screw here, we're actually on 1 torque here, the 1 torque. That's as far as the 1 torque setting. We'll run that in. Once you can hear the gears slipping in it, all right, past each other. That's a 1 torque setting. Let's say that we go to a 5 torque setting. Yeah, we'll run it in a little further. That's as far as it goes. Then we go all the way over, let's say, to a 10. That's as far as the 10 goes. Okay? So each torque setting runs it in a little further. If you go all the way to a 15 torque setting, it'll run it all the way in. And so if you think about it like this, take that screw, we'll set this on a 10, and we'll run this screw inside of it. They should run in, as long as I'm running them in at the same angle, they should run in at the same depth. That did not happen. hide that and sit on something. So the only thing that I can come up with for these not running at the same height would be there's different hardnesses of the wood inside of here. All right. So you've got your torque settings. If you want to run your screws all the way in, you can just run it up to 15. Or you can run it all the way over to the drill bit mode. That's as far as it goes. This drill really doesn't have enough power to sink these 2.5-inch screws. So we're talking about torque settings. It's got reverse, forward and reverse, just like the other ones, 1 and 2 for speeds. This next drill is take the battery out of that one. This is a hammer drill. I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of faded. There's a hammer right here. All right. So with the hammer drill, the hammer function, this thing has 3 different functions on it. All right. It's got right there is it on screw mode, meaning that you can run in screws just like I just showed you with the other 2 drills. Put a T25 in, whatever you got to put in it. It's T20, T25. One of the things I forget to say on that other drill is sometimes you can get your bits in there a little crooked. Let's see if I can get this thing in here crooked, just for kicks. All right, that's really crooked. I mean, that's over exaggerated. But if you look at the end of that spinning, that's not going to work out. So you got to loosen that up. Make sure you get it in straight. Lock it in. And you can put in, take out screws. This one's got a lot more torque than that other small drill. It'll run that screw all the way in and then some. So you got screw mode and you got drill mode. All right, there's drilling mode. That's for drilling holes, just like I showed you with the other one. Put your drill bit in, you can drill a hole. Now you can see the difference between this one and the other one. It will drill through this wood fairly easy. And so you can drill. And the primary thing that I use this drill for is hammer mode. The other ones don't have hammer mode. This is a hammer drill. It's got a hammer mode. Hammer mode is for drilling into block or concrete floors. I'm going to check the video, just make sure it's still running. We're good. All right. So hammer mode is for drilling into masonry or concrete. In order to do that, you have to have a specialized bit. Concrete bits. I don't know if you can see this in the video. This has this one's been used a lot, but it's got like a little fin head on the end of it here, and the flutes look different than a normal drill bit. This one also has a specialized shank that fits in the other drill that we're getting ready to talk about. These 2 grooves right here, that groove and that groove on the bottom. We'll show you what those do in just a second. But you can put this masonry bit in this drill. As long as it's on the hammer mode, all right, you can drill into concrete. And we're going to talk more about that in just a second. Now, if it's in hammer mode, it makes a weird sound. I'm going to use this bit. You can kind of hear that. If I go to drill bit mode, you won't hear that same sound. All right. The hammer mode, if you look at this chuck goes in and out like this. That's part of that hammer mode for drilling into concrete and concrete and any sort of block or masonry. So this drill, it's got 3 speeds on it. 1 is slow, 2 is medium, this is 3. All right, and you got 1 through 21 on torque settings. So you got more torque settings on this than you do the smaller drill. Last but not least is this is also a hammer drill. Now this is what most people think of when they think of hammer drills, is this one right here. It has, I got another masonry bit here. I don't know if you can see the fins on this one are a little more defined on the top of the head here. In order to get this in, this has a collar that you can pull back like this. In order to get it in, you can just push it in. And the drill bit goes back and forth, as you can see. That's the hammer function. Backwards. You can hear how it hits now. It also has, you switch to regular drilling mode. You can put a regular drill bit in here, like this one, all right? And you can drill. You can hear the difference in the drill. Listen to the difference in the drill. hammer mode. All right, so the drill's got a little bit different sound. Now let's say that I want to put an anchor in concrete of any sort. I got two different options that I can do. I could, this is what they call a masonry screw, all right? Masonry screw is, they're typically blue. Some people call them blue screws just because they know that they're masonry screws. The brand name for these are Tapcons. This is a 1/4 inch Tapcon, meaning that this is the threads and the diameter of the screw is 1/4 inch. If I want to put a Tapcon in my wall, all right, I need a 1/4 inch drill bit. Or sorry, I messed that up. Let me say that again. If I want to put a Tapcon in my wall, one of these blue screws, if this is a 1/4 inch Tapcon, then I need a 3/16 drill bit. That's one size smaller. This is one size smaller than this. That allows the threads to be able to catch a little bit of concrete as it goes into the hole. All right. So I could drill a hole with this, run the screw into that hole. The other option I've got, these are not the only options. These are two, lightweight, light duty options. All right, is a plastic shield. This plastic shield is a 1/4 inch shield. This is a 1/4 inch bit. I want my hole and my shield to be the same size. So if this is a 1/4 inch, I need a 1/4 inch bit. All right, so we're going to take our 1/4 inch bit, put it in our drill. I didn't show you this part just a second ago. This little thing right here is a depth gauge. If I only wanted to drill my hole a certain depth, I can slide this to where it'll hit my wall, all right, as I go in, and then I can take my shield and tap it in with a hammer. So if I take right here, you can go in a joint or in the block. You can do either one. Hammer mode. Now I've got the depth set relatively shallow because I didn't really want to drill a hole in the wall here. I can take this shield, put the shield there, and I can tap that shield in. Now the shield is there. Once I get the shield in the wall, I can put a regular screw, pretty much any sort of screw. You can put a ceramic deck screw, whatever you want to hold it, as long as it's got the strength and durability to hold up whatever you're hanging on the wall. All right, so there's your hammer drill. We're talking about all the different drills, most drills. Pretty much the really only purpose for this drill is drilling into concrete. Like I said, it's got regular drill mode, but most people don't use it for that unless they have to. And this handle here is just because of the torque setting. You can move this handle around. You can put the handle on the bottom. All right, and drill, you put it on the side, however, whatever feels comfortable to you. All right, so just a real quick overview. Mainly, put screws in, got an impact function, pushes, turns at the same time. All around, all-purpose drill, regular drill, mainly drilling holes, but you can also put screws in with it too. And then you've got a hammer drill. It's got all three functions. The hammer function, drilling into concrete. It's got the regular drill mode. You can drill holes and you can put screws in. The only reason that I would not choose this one over, let's say, one of these other two, this is a lot heavier. There you can feel a drastic weight difference between the two. And the reason that matters is whenever you're lugging one of these around all day, let's say that you're going to put, drywall overhead in your house. If you're going to hold this thing right here above your shoulders all day, after 2 or 3 hours, you're definitely going to be feeling it in your shoulders. This keeps you a lot lighter, and you're able to, install longer. Good deal.